this thing is moving, and they've been stacking the ship on top of the booster faster and faster these days. So we saw it move, and we figured it was time to go live. I'm Jack Beyer for NSF, and this is another NSF Starbase live stream. You know what the deal is. And it's not going to be just me, also joined by Alex. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fantastic. I cannot wait to see this thing fully stacked, hopefully for the last time. Oh my god.
Fingers crossed. And also joining us for tonight's stack stream, this thing is on the move. It's hauling already. Is Trevor.
Yes,
Trevor, how you
hello.
doing?
I am not confident that this is the final stack, but we'll talk about that a bit later, and as you said, it is already kind of cruising up. Well, of course, when I say that, it stops moving.
Right. Well, no, it's a really good thing to make clear right off the bat. We don't know that this is the final stack before flight, although for reasons we will discuss here in just a moment, it very well could be. It could also not be. We still do not have full FAA approval for launch, and while that approval could come in the morning, I know it's a federal holiday, but you never know. It could come tomorrow evening, just before close of business. It could come, who knows, over the weekend. At this point, I don't think there are any bets that are off. So FAA approval could be coming soon. It could be still days away. We have no visibility into that, though we have been poking the relevant agencies. But you can see here that Ship 25 is rapidly ascending the launch tower. And that's a sight to see. And if this is in fact the final stack, which again, we don't know if it is, this is a pretty huge moment for the lead up to Flight 2. So, Alex, what did we see today? I'm asking you as if I wasn't out there all day. What did we see today that is bringing into question the I want to call this, if this is the penultimate stack or the final stack or something else? Like what? Explain.
Yeah, so there's probably a few caveats to point out here. We think it is the final one, but it is true that, SpaceX, just as they are stacking right now, they could destack whenever they want. Like, this is their vehicle, they could do it whenever they want. It's like that joke of, "You're not my father, you cannot tell me what to do," right? They could just do it whenever they want. Now, the thing is, they have already closed out the flight termination system work. We saw them installing the charges, and the boxes are closed off. They have already been plugged in and everything with I think that they have like bolts or things like that to be able to close them off. So it seems like all of that work is already closed out. So they have that flight termination system already installed on both vehicles. And so what would you expect after that if they full stack? It's that it is the final full stack, right? It's like that's sort of what you expect. Now, there's always the possibility, as I just said, that SpaceX can be like, okay, well, sure, but we're waiting for too long to get the approval or whatever, and so we're gonna destack or something, right? Because even right now, based on hazard notices and all of that stuff, we think that the earliest that they could launch will be next Wednesday, and we're right now 10 minutes away from Friday, right?
Right.
So it could be quite a long time if you think about it. Last time it was 3 days from installing the flight termination system to the launch, but it could also be that SpaceX is just fine with that.
Yeah, sure
So
enough.
we'll see.
So, flight termination. Let's talk a little bit more about that I mean, this thing is really moving up the tower. Like, I know they've been getting faster and faster with every stack, but oh lord, she's stacking.
Yeah, it's been cool to see that every stack of, especially this most recent vehicle, Booster 9 Ship 25, it's felt a lot more like operational procedures and not them trying to figure it out and make sure they don't mess anything up. Like originally, we saw a bunch of pauses and inspections with the drone and whatnot, and recently it's been much more of a continuous motion from liftoff to setting on top of the booster.
Right. So,
One
FTS.
thing
Oh, go ahead, Alex.
Oh, well, I was gonna say, because I actually have been asked right now, like, why are they not waiting for the sunrise or something? Pretty pictures. And I actually will say that this is probably a record lift. I haven't seen such a quick pace in terms of the time from moving out from the vehicles from that point, right, to the point of lifting the vehicle.
Right.
Because usually they have this long process of preparing the ship for lift and things like that, removing the pressure plate that they have, etc., etc. Like they have all of these kinds of things that they have to do and everything. And so it was very fast. It was like maybe 30 minutes. I haven't seen that being so fast ever in how many whatever stacks they have been doing for the last, I think, year and a half. It's
Right.
crazy. Like they're going very, very fast.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. I mean, in the same way that the ships and boosters have looked better and more complete over time, uh, I feel like the stacking procedure, it almost looks more like the renders now, where it's just like bloop, now it's on top, bloop, now it's down. Like I don't know if my sound effects help make that make any more sense, but it really does seem like the process has gotten a lot smoother over time, and they keep figuring things out, getting more data, dare I say, because more data, more
More
better.
better.
Yeah, right. Uh, and using that data to be able to stack these things faster. Although we say all of this, and now it looks like it has briefly paused in in that particular location. So we'll see. Sometimes as they are going up the tower, they'll sort of pause and then move the ship aside a bit, and then keep going up. I can't tell. Is it moving laterally? I don't think so.
Oh, ooh, it
Oh,
almost looks like
maybe.
it is.
Maybe. Yeah. You know what? I think it is very slow. Yep, it is. It definitely is moving laterally right now. The tower is panning the ship. Okay, I keep saying it. Let's talk about the FTS. We have a question here, and y'all, you can ask your questions at NASASpaceflight. We have a question here from Space Guy 1969. Does the ship have FTS installed? And this is a nuanced subject that we should take pains to make clear what we mean when we say things. So today, we did see crews take explosives, labeled destructor, which is so cool, uh, and install those into the FTS boxes on both the ship and the booster. So the destructors or the charges or whatever you want to call them are installed on the vehicles, right, Alex?
Yeah, we actually have pictures by you, none
I was
other.
just about to say, I'll spam the link in chat to the tweet.
Because we can see actually the charges already installed in those pictures, and they have they have been pretty much since this morning. I think it was like 8 a.m. or something that they started the installation process. There you can see at least one of the charges in that picture, but there are others that show both.
Yeah, when
And
I shot this particular picture, they were in the process of installing that
Mhm.
bottom one. But they did get both on there, and then they covered them both up with a cover, and then wrapped some speed tape around the seam on that cover. But
Yep.
go ahead, continue.
Yeah, so that work was, I think, around the noon time frame or thereabouts, because I think they started putting up the charges around 9, 10 a.m. or something. And they were up there for a few hours.
Right.
And then that other picture, which there we go, we're zooming in and now. You can even see the tags for remove before flight tags that are on the pins. There are those red things that you can see there on the charges, and those are the pins that need to be pulled out before they close out. But these boxes are now closed out before, like this was this morning. They did a lot more work later in the afternoon and evening, and pretty much since up until a few hours ago they were already working. They were still working on those boxes, but they were closed out. They were bolted in, no tape or anything, just you know good old bolts, and yeah, pretty much closed out.
Oh, they taped up the ship box as well. So the first one we looked at was the booster.
Mhm.
The one we were just looking at right there was the ship, and both of them, when they were done and installed the covers on the boxes, they wrapped speed tape around the boxes, which is like it's basically just aerospace grade duct tape. So it's not like the tape really means anything, but as we watch the ship, is it something just fall off? Do you see that? It looked like a little piece of paper or something was falling down. Anyways,
Yeah.
can I tell you a secret? Chat, don't
I'm with you.
listen to this part. So yeah, maybe it's a bird or a moth or something? Oh my god, it's going into the spotlight. Look at that. That's outstanding,
Oh, that is such an awesome shot.
right? That's outstanding. So typically my workflow with a single camera, I have two, but I don't always carry two with me. Like if I'm going on a long walk to get a specific angle, my typical workflow is to shoot a little bit of video, then shoot some photos, then shoot some video, and sort of flip flop back and forth. So I must have been out there for, I don't know, 5 or 6 hours, and I shot so much video. But those particular photos we were looking at of the ship FTS box with the pins visible, I stopped shooting video. I started shooting a few photos of the booster FTS from that angle, and then when I was going to switch back to the ship, they had already closed that box. They had already closed the panel up.
Yeah, but
So
it's important to
I
say
don't
though.
know, like I didn't see them, or I don't have footage of them pulling those pins. I assume they did because they
Yeah.
wrapped it all up and they're stacking it, but I can't authoritatively say that I saw those pins pulled. But anyways, I just wanted to throw that out there. I'm a big idiot and I missed an important moment. That's the secret. Anyways,
Yeah, because based on the stuff that they have done today, it looks like in the morning they just installed the charges. The pins were still there, as you can see on your pictures. Then they taped it over. So they put the covers, they put tape on them. But then they came in the afternoon, the tape was removed, the covers were removed, and then they worked again on the charges. And at least on one occasion for the booster FTS, because we had one of these cameras looking at the FTS on the booster, at least on one occasion, I'm mostly sure they had one of those red tags for remove to, the before remove before flight tags in one of the operator's hands. So I'm mostly sure they have removed those pins, but we'll see.
all right.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting thought though, because as Alex was saying, a lot of the evidence points to the fact that the pins may have been removed, and it seems somewhat probable given how finished the FTS boxes are looking. But it also, on the other hand, feels like SpaceX would want to remove those pins as late as possible. And given that SpaceX does not have permission to launch yet from the FAA, who is still waiting on the Fish and Wildlife Services, it
Right.
feels like they wouldn't want to pull them yet. So I'm like conflicted mentally about if I think they're still there or not.
Yeah, like I said, I assume they've been pulled, but this brings us to our next question. So we've talked about the FTS detonators or destructors or charges or whatever you want to. I like calling them destructors because you can see they're labeled that in one of those photos I took. But those have been installed. So yes, FTS has been installed. Then we talked about the pins. The pins have presumably been pulled, but we can't say authoritatively one way or the other. Although Alex thought he saw a pin in a guy's hand, so that that kind of does help. Also, this shot is insane. Ship is now above the booster already. This has been fast. Less than 30 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
Also,
so the
these
third,
spotlights are seriously awesome. Thank you to whoever put those up at SpaceX.
yeah, Sean told me they were out there and sent me a picture earlier because Sean is out there shooting, and I'm here at base camp doing commentary. And I was like, oh man, I've been out there all day. I kind of want to go out there. And he's like, dude, the spotlights are insane. You're gonna be mad if you don't come out here. And yeah, I can confirm I'm pretty mad. That's wild. This is wild. So yes, so the third FTS component is what Ken is asking, and what Laramir is also asking, which is, has the FTS been armed? And now the pins being pulled does not necessarily mean that the FTS is armed. In fact, on the booster QD, and I believe as well the ship QD, there is a specific connector which is labeled FTS. It's like FTS inhibit or something like that. So there's an electrical or some method of inhibiting the FTS via the connections between the vehicle and the tower. So, like actual arming, I guess, would be when they command the computer to no longer inhibit those systems, right? Like the pins have to be pulled for that to be possible, but if the pins are pulled and the vehicles are still getting the inhibit signal, like that's not necessarily armed, right?
Yeah, I think it comes down to how do you define armed?
Right.
And I wouldn't be surprised if there was also more software safety checks, like we hear on Falcon 9, where in the middle of flight they safe the termination system. So it depends on your definition of arm. It's been installed, the pins have maybe been pulled, and as Jack was mentioning, there's the inhibitor in the ship QD or near the ship QD.
So yeah. Eric Hall is asking, can they reach the FTS to arm it while it's stacked? Not on the ship. That's why this is sort of a big question of, is this the last stack? You know, what's the deal? Oh, is that a drone? We got a drone up.
Jack,
Like a drone.
Nice.
Jack, can I do a Sawyer?
Yeah, you can do a Sawyer. It's better if you don't
Speaking
ask,
of
though.
arms, speaking of arms, the ship quick disconnect arm is moving in.
Oh, hey, look at that.
It was
Nice.
retracted and now it's moving. Or I think it has already moved. It's a bit difficult from this perspective because it's sideways.
Man, this feels like the first night stack that we've had in quite a while. I mean, the very first chopstick stack, I will never forget because I was on that stream alongside Chris G, and we were sleep deprived and loopy, and it was a blast. But that was the very first one ever. I forget if they've done other night stacks, but I don't know, something
Yeah.
about night stacks. Dare I say? Hopefully Max doesn't get mad at me. They hit different, especially with these spotlights.
And the ship is rotating now.
Excellent. Not long now.
Look
QD
at
arm
that
in
view.
place. Yeah, that is one heck
These
of a view.
spotlights, yeah, these spotlights are giving like major Apollo era vibes of those famous shots of the Saturn V on the
Right.
launch pad with all the spotlights up at it.
After this, I might just have to drive out there and shoot some photos because holy cow. Like, just holy cow. Okay, we're getting a bunch of support in, and y'all, it's the middle of the night, and we rolled out to do this stream because we thought we should, and your support is awesome because it really does make a difference. So, Musical Wolves, thank you. They say, does this mean 25 has its launch? Bacon. You know what? I'm just gonna say yes. Bideford, you're awesome. Gifting 5 red team memberships. Skip, thank you for the super chat. They say live, Rocket Company attempts spaceship stacking speed run record. Say that 5 times fast. Daniel Hogbin, thank you for gifting 5 red team memberships. You're also awesome, Daniel. Another one of those names that pops up all the time. Astro Knucklehead, speaking of names that pops up all the time, thanks for the support. They say, Jack Buyer Bacon Poker, how many bacon strips are you willing to bet on a launch in the next 7 days? I'm all in. Ooh, next 7 days? So between now and the 17th? Okay, I'll put it this way. I have no insider info. I have no idea what's going on. We don't have a launch license. I have rented a significant dollar amount of equipment that will be here for the next 7 days. So make of that what you will. I fully expect to have to pay a whole bunch of extra money in order to continue to rent that equipment beyond the next 7 days. Because I feel like I probably jumped the gun, but I don't know. We got a stack going on right now. We had FTS installed today. We just need that regulatory shoe to drop.
It's hard to know if SpaceX has any real info on how the Fish and Wildlife Service investigation is going.
Right.
Because it could be a good sign if that SpaceX is installing all of this, that they expect to get approval from FWS and then FAA. Or it could also just be SpaceX wanting to be ready to go for as soon as that license drops, a launch attempt in the next 2 or 3 days.
Yep. One thing I will say, let's see, how can I put this delicately?
There's well, you think about it. I will make another comment. It could very well be, and this is just myself talking out of my back here, that what if a SpaceX just doesn't care about having the flight termination system active? Active without the pins and everything, because perhaps we're assuming that they do care about that stuff, but maybe they don't.
Meaning they would
That could be a
just do
possibility.
this as sort of like practice?
No, I mean it as, it's already installed. They have pulled the pins, they stack it. It's already in launch, ready configuration. And whenever they get the approval, they just launch it.
Yeah, I mean,
As
that
in,
sounds...
they may wait days and days and days, sure, but it's already there and ready for launch. Like,
Yeah.
actually ready.
Sounds right. Sounds entirely plausible. What an insane view of the 6 engines on Starship, and a really great view of the hot stage ring too. I'm gonna take a poll on this here. How do you both of you feel about the term hot stage ring versus just calling it an interstage?
Well, there kind of already is an interstage, so I don't know. I kind of don't mind the term.
Alex?
I'm okay with whatever term. If you want to call it the thingamajig, I'm okay with that.
All right, so you can see here, Ship 25 is slowly being rotated on top of Booster 9's thingamajig. Plutonium-239, thank you so much. They're asking what kind of powder do they use in the detonators. Destructors. The label said destructors. I tweeted detonators. I'm a big dumb idiot. So I'm going to call them destructors just because I like to be that guy. I believe they are plastic explosive, like a C4 or some kind of shape charge. I don't think it's like black powder or anything. Eric, thank you for the support. They say, what's the difference between the FTS on IFT-1 versus Starship Flight 2? Alex, you're Mr. Differences. Let us know what's the deal here.
Well,
also, sorry,
appears...
no, I'm going to cut you off. The view inside that RVAC engine with the shadow of the hot stage ring from the spotlight, that is beautiful.
Amazing.
All right, continue, please. Differences.
But yeah, it appears, so we thought at one point that what they did is just add more charges. But given the work that they have done today, obviously, this is sort of a thing in motion where we discover new things as they do more work on these vehicles. And it appears that actually the extra charges that we thought, were an addition are actually the only thing that there is. It appears that the original box, where they had the original charges, may not have anything at all. So they're just using new charges that are larger. It appears that they are larger. They are just bigger than the previous ones. And they are located a little bit up into the vehicle's structures.
Interesting. Good deal. And there you go. Ship 25 on top of Booster 9's whatchamacallit. I'm not gonna stop making this joke. It's terrible already, but I'm not gonna stop. The shadow and the light. Oh my gosh, this is so beautiful.
Jack, please go get us photos.
Well, it's too late now for Stack itself, but I will get full Stack photos. Do not worry. I mean, really, if you think about it, if this is the final stack before flight, the clock is now ticking. There are only so many opportunities with a full stack to get shots. When there's a full stack in Starbase and you're a photographer, if you're not taking literally every single opportunity you can to get shots of the stack, like it's so rare that you're messing up.
Yeah,
so,
Sean in the back channel just said he's out there right now shooting this, so look forward to some awesome pics from him as well.
Yeah,
And
I
I'm
can't
looking
wait to
forward
see.
you, Jack.
I
the
can't wait to see
ultimate-
his video and his photos, and I can't wait to yell at him. Even though he told me to come out, but you know what? You got to pick your battles. J.R. Moore, thank you for the support. They say we're here, you're here. Let's just go ahead and launch tonight. Wow, what a view with those spotlights. Stupid tower flashers, but the spotlights.
So fast, this thing.
Yeah,
We were like 25 minutes ago, and we started the lift.
That's insane.
I wonder if anyone in the back channel has stats of the fastest stack to date and how this compares. I'm sure, well, Adrian's hopefully sleeping right now, but someone like him has spreadsheets of each milestone that they've hit.
Spoiler, he's not sleeping, but I suspect this is the fastest stack. If I was going to wager, I would wager this is the fastest stack by far.
Yeah, by far, I agree.
Molly Miriams, thank you so much. Gifting 20 Red Team memberships. You guys, if you watch the channel at all, you've heard me say it ad infinitum at this point, but really, we can't do this without the member support. And when you gift a membership, that's amazing. One, you're just doing something nice. And two, you're helping support the channel. And three, you're allowing somebody who is not a current member to be a member and to experience all of the stuff that we do for members. And that's amazing because, one, again, it's just nice to do. And two, some of those people, hopefully, maybe, will stay a member. And, like, oh my god. The things we could do if we had unlimited resources, or even just, like, 1.5x the resources, like, the more you guys support us, the more we can do. And we've barely even scratched the surface of cool things that we can do. So if you like what we do, thank you. And thank you so much for gifting the memberships, for being a member, for the super chats, for buying the merch, all the things that you do to support us, even if it's not monetarily. Just hitting the thumbs up, hitting subscribe, telling your friends about us. It means the world. Because we all love doing this. And we want to keep doing it. And we want to do even better stuff. I mean, we're striving as hard as we can to make our IFT2 or Starship Flight 2 or whatever you want to call it coverage even better than IFT1. And you better believe after 2 is done, we're going to be doing the same thing for 3 and the same thing for 4. Like, we are constantly trying to improve the views. So thank you. John oh my god. Depker. I keep adding in that N. I'm sorry, John. John Depker. One of the names that pops up all the time. Yeah, for the super chat saying, gotta say it now, Adrian isn't here to help. Depker. Oh my god. My brain is broken. Bideford, speaking of breaking things, you're so kind. I'm kind of broken at how much support we've gotten from you over the years. And so many people. Like, just, wow. Thank you for the very generous super chat, and they say, camera lens fees for Jack. You're a big sweetie, thank you. Frank O, with another very generous super chat. I believe this is Frank's very first super chat. So thank you, Frank. That is extremely generous of you. They're saying, Jack, do you think there's a solution to the graininess at night? Seems like AI could at least determine pure black. Also, could you ignore the beacon light or teach the cameras to ignore it real time, like discard those frames? I mean, look, DOS is an absolute wizard with video and basically everything. And side note, I'm really enjoying this view of the tabs going into the slots on the ship there. Like, this is just so neat to see. DOS is a wizard with video and basically everything, and DOS has experimented with like things like real-time stabilization or things of that nature. I mean, yeah, it's not trivial, and we don't have anything like necessarily in the works, but certainly it's interesting to think about, and these sorts of things conceivably could be done. But you know, so much of our time is spent maintaining what we have and then trying to add on top of it that, you just kind of have to pick your battles. But never say never. This would definitely be something awesome. What I really want is to be able to shoot for a track of a rocket. I want to be able to shoot 8K or at least 4K and broadcast that to the server and then have it real-time motion track. Like, basically run auto track on my track. But that's a whole... I don't think we could do that live. Anyways, I'm way off the rails here. Thank you so much, Frank. Ooh.
You need Michael to answer that question.
Yeah, right. I need Michael, like, in every aspect of my life, as much as I hate to say it. Oh, God, I just said that on stream. He's going to hear me. All right, well, the ship is over the booster, and the drone is coming in close to inspect. And hopefully we'll see this thing get all the way placed down. Alex, this is typically one of the... I want to say slower or, like, tedious, but it takes them a little bit of time to make sure everything is aligned properly, right?
Yeah, but who knows? They're going fast.
Let's see. Keep the questions coming, y'all. B9 is asking, since Ship 25 has beaten Ship 24's record of most stacks, how many stacks will the next Starship for flight be? Hopefully less? Can I say that?
I would say hopefully fewer because there won't be a fractional number.
Nice. Angry American, thanks for gifting a Red Team membership. Angry American also with a super chat saying 1,200 likes and I'll gift another. Heck yeah, hit that like button. Jacob, thanks for being a Red Team member. Or becoming a Red Team member. Eric with a 29-month pad rat milestone. They say almost 30 months. Wow, thank you so much, Eric. John Whitaker gifting a Red Team membership. Thank you. And Darren Farthing gifting a Red Team membership. No, gifting 5. Thank you, Darren. If y'all got a membership from someone on this stream, be sure to thank them. Dane William, thanks for the super chat. They say, loving your work from down under. Can't wait to see this beauty lift off. I think we're all in the same boat. Although this night stack, man, I'm just like, you know, I want to get a couple Starship launches during the daytime in like super nice weather like we had for SN8 or SN9 or 10. But this is really making me want a nighttime Starship launch. Like, we got a little bit of a taste of it with Relativity launching Terran. But that streak, the Methalox streak, is going to be... I don't even know what to... I guess bonkies is all I can think to call it. Are we seeing any movement? Stop. Are we seeing any movement, or is it kind of holding right there for now?
It looks like it's been pretty steady to me. Let me A/B check.
I'm seeing slight adjustments as I scroll through.
Nice. Well, that's what we expect.
Yeah, when you A/B,
Aligning.
very small adjustments.
Yeah.
I wonder how they accomplish this. Like, is there a laser on the QD arm or something? Or is it the drone? Like, what sensors do they have that ensure? Is it just vision based, like with cameras? How can they tell alignment?
Space lasers.
Stop.
We're talking about them before in CRS-29.
That's true. We were talking about space lasers in CRS-29. That was a good stream.
Looks like it's going down a bit. Oh no, it moved. Like, it looked like it was adjusted a bit towards the QD.
Excellent. It's wild that the lift is so trivial compared to this portion. I mean, it makes perfect sense, but the lift is like... It used to be the lift would take quite a while, and then they would get to this point, and it would sort of take a commensurate amount of time. Now it's just like, the lift's over. All right, let's spend 30 minutes or however long making sure everything's nice and lined up. Shivam, sorry for butchering your name. They say let's go with a 2-month red team member milestone. Willem D 20. Thank you for being a Capcom member for 15 months. They say no IFT 4 instead of OFT 1. What? When do you guys think the first orbital flight will happen? I'm gonna say on the 4th or 5th flight. Like full orbital deploying a payload. Trevor, what do you think?
I see what they're saying. They're saying it's not orbital test flight. So hence the IFT naming scheme should be over. So for an actual orbital attempt, I mean, I hate to give the annoying answer of, well, it depends on how this flight goes. I think if this flight goes well, it would be within the realm of possibilities that we see it orbit the Earth more than once on Flight 3. And I think if this flight doesn't go well, then SpaceX will simply repeat this mission profile until they find success.
That's not an annoying answer. That's a good answer. Oh, it's definitely coming down now. I love the engine chill line on the ship. Like, it's the silliest, littlest part of the vehicle, but I don't know. Something about seeing those line up and connect with the booster is delightful to me.
It's always a good indicator of how aligned the ship is relative to the boosters.
Right.
Once those are aligned, then you can pretty much see them that they just go down with the ship.
Right. Janine and Carl, 30 months PadRat membership milestone. Thank you so much. They say your shows are always so informative. Thank you. Thank you for the support and for watching. I'm just loving this view. Hooray, spotlights. Michael McGinley, thank you so much for the super chat. They say, thanks for the coverage, y'all. Stay chill. You got it. Micah, grabbing something from the store. Thank you so much. They say, I've been watching you guys since SN8. Was in 2 pieces, and I have never been able to support you financially, but you guys make the best and most consistent space content out there, and I am so thankful. So this is the least I can do. Go OFT2. Man, thank you so much, Micah. Whether or not you can support monetarily, it's absolutely appreciated that you're just watching. Like, that's the really cool thing about all this, is it's like a massively distributed thing where everyone is supporting what we do, and if you can't support us monetarily, that's fine, because, you know, that's what everyone else is for that can. And when you can pitch in, you know, even if it's $1 here and there, it makes a huge difference. Every little bit helps. Justin Herring, thank you so much for being a Red Team member for a month. They say, thanks for all you do. Got to watch shuttle launches as a kid. Glad I get to see this absolutely amazing again. Thank you all. Thank you so much. Man, y'all are bringing just all the kind words tonight. Thank you. It really means a lot. There's a whole bunch of people working their butts off to bring you this coverage. It's not just the voices you hear on stream. It's everybody, all the mods, all the SPL ops. You know, people that don't have time to stream, like Das, who is constantly busting his butt getting things done out here. So just, you know that we all appreciate it from the bottom of our hearts. We really do. Let's see. Here's a kind of a fun one. Walker Ward is asking, what do we think will go on with the camera pointing into the ship engine bay since the hot staging ring is now there? So on the first flight, there was a camera that sort of was looking in to the ship engine bay from the top of the booster. I mean, there's no reason why they couldn't just put that same camera on top of the hot stage ring, right?
I don't think they will have any problems with the cameras looking at the engines, to be honest.
At least not until the engine's light.
Yeah, that's true.
And they also have cameras, I think, inside of the engine bay on the ship itself.
Right.
So they probably have redundant views. More views, more better, as you will say.
Not wrong. You're not wrong. Here's one I'm not 100% on the answer to. Jaden is asking, why do some tiles have a lighter color than others? most noticeable on weld points. Is that just differences from batch to batch of tiles, or do they weather like the orange foam on the shuttle in SLS and Delta, and the older tiles are darker? I'm not clear.
They can also get sometimes a little bit of dust on them and things like that. There's also this gap filler that they use. It's sort of like a white tint on it. It seems like it has. So that might also be part of the reason why.
Right.
Some of them might look a bit white. But overall, I don't really know exactly the case here.
Right. So, do we think it's down? I think the booster did a little wiggle. Oh, when we're looking at the road now, looks like.
Oh, yeah, haha. Because this is, well, the lights don't let us see it fully, but that's the Booster 9 transport stand, and it is moving away from the launch site and being transported back to the production site. Or maybe to the rocket garden, we really don't know, but it's basically moving away from the launch site right now.
Right. The camera does not like the bright lights in the dark night, but that is what we're seeing move there.
And so, you know what this means?
What does this mean?
The only way that booster is coming out is, under its own thrust. That's what it means.
You love to see it. Love to see it. That's excellent.
I think it is because people are asking if it's the Ship 25. I believe it is the Booster 9. It's a bit hard to look at, with all of the lights and everything, though.
Right. Bloodhound, becoming a Paddock member. Thank you, Bloodhound. Enjoy the member perks. Glenn Pearson, gifting 20 Red Team memberships. Glenn, thank you so much for doing that. If you got a membership from Glenn, be a good human and thank them in chat. Angry American, thank you so much. They say NSF is better than all mainstream combined. Oh, you're sweet. Thank you. Upper Level Wins, 7 months as a Red Team member. Thank you so much. They say, is the launch license public? Thank you for streaming and everything you do. No, we don't know what the status with that is, and we've been asking, trust me.
Yeah, right now, because there's been all of this controversy about whether it's actually public, no, like it's actually granted, but they are keeping it under wraps. I do not think that will be the case, to be honest. Last time they were granted the launch license, they publicly talked about it within 18 minutes of it being signed off. So, and I actually think that it is not in their best interest to keep it under wraps, because the FAA has been, under the spotlight of, oh, there's been so many delays, right? So they will probably be willing to actually go ahead and talk about it as soon as possible, as soon as it is already signed off. So that's my 2 cents.
No, I think you're right. John Depker, thanks for gifting 5 Red Team memberships. Lightning Rod, thank you for being a Red Team member for 4 months. They say, what are our opinions on why progress at KSC has slowed down? Do you think it'll speed up a bit after this flight, or no? Here's the deal. Even at Starbase, I mean, obviously work is continuing, and we're seeing that stand continue to move back to the production site. But it does sort of feel like, even at Starbase, less has been going on in the way of, I mean, even just like ship construction and booster construction. I mean, the ring yard is practically stagnant, although I'm sure a lot of that function is being taken up by the Star Factory. So maybe everything that we used to see out in the ring yard is just inside now. But the priority for SpaceX right now is this flight, and the data they get from it will surely color their next steps, whether that's in Starbase or at KSC. So I think it only makes sense to sort of tap the brakes on KSC in particular and get a better feel for this system before you continue to spend oodles of money building out infrastructure there, because you don't want to trifle with Pad 39. So yeah, I don't know if it'll speed up directly after this flight, but surely this is a necessary milestone to get KSC firing on all cylinders. I mean, they haven't even built a set of high or mega bays or whatever you want to call them there. It seemed like they were going to, and then they've sort of paused all that, right, Alex?
Yeah, and I will actually say, I think the other day, hey, there we have the. There you can see it is clearly Booster 9's transport stand. That is a booster transport stand coming out from the launch site, with the pins and everything for the stabilization during lifts. Hopefully never to be used again on Booster 9, because the next time it is going out of that OLM is under its own Raptor power.
Heck yes.
But yeah,
Heck
the other day
yes,
we were
let's
actually
go.
seeing.
Sorry.
the other day we were actually seeing a crane sort of in the vicinity of the orbital launch mount there at Starbase. Jeez, we see those many times. I'm talking about 39A. Excuse me. 'Cause we're seeing some sort of activity, but I don't know. Might not be that huge. Might be some, small kind of work or something.
Right. Oh gosh, I love SPMT sounds. Let's just shut up and listen to the SPMT sounds for like a minute. Good deal. Thanks for indulging me on that one. I just love the sound of SPMTs, and the whole Doppler effect of it going by the camera and microphone is just too satisfying. All right, so Booster 9's transport stand headed away from the launch site. Kind of a big deal. Yet another, good sign. Like Alex was saying, that they don't expect Booster 9 to leave the OLM unless it's under its own power.
I wonder if they'll roll Ship 25's transport stand as well.
Yeah, good question.
If they do roll it...
That's a good sign.
Yeah, because if they do roll it back to the production site, you know what that means? It is not coming back down. So
yeah,
we'll have to keep an eye on that.
Not until
what happens.
Not until it first goes up. At least, hopefully, some amount.
I mean, okay, sure, you're right.
So we're getting a whole bunch of questions about the FTS, maybe from people who have just joined. We talked about it a whole bunch sort of at the start of the stack, but I don't know, Trevor, do you want to give us a sort of a FTS rundown, or do you want to chicken out and throw it to Alex?
No, I can run us down. So there was this photographer out in Starbase today called Jack Bayer, something like that.
Oh yeah, I heard that guy's a real jerk.
And he got some phenomenal photos of them during FTS install, which I will post into chat right now. Go give Jack some support. And in these photos, we can see that the charges have been, or what did Jack call them? Jack, what
Destructor.
is Destructors? That's the term you like.
The
have
one
been
that I got
installed.
the one that I got the clearest shot of was labeled Destructor 4, which I feel like is a really good metal band name. Like, we are Destructor 4. All right, sorry, continue.
Yeah, and in these photos, which Patrick is pulling up in just a second, you can see the charges have been installed and they have some pins on them, the red remove before flight pins. And those charges have been installed on both booster and ship. So originally they were on and SpaceX duct taped some cladding over them, which then they later bolted and removed the tape from. And unfortunately, we
Hey.
don't know for sure.
Hey,
What?
it was speed tape, okay?
Speed
tape is way cooler than duct tape. I know duct tape has like
Tape was removed that later.
Yeah,
Well,
it's-
you know what? I just want to
the
make
record.
clear: speed tape cool. I know duct tape has like a whole cult following, but it was speed tape, and speed tape is cool. The only tape that is better than speed tape is gaff tape. Anyways, this has been my TED Talk on tape. Continue, please, Trevor.
okay. I don't know what the different types of tape are, but for me it's basically duct tape.
Remember
Anyway,
how earlier in a voice chat you asked me how I knew when I was old? It's when I started caring about tape.
Best tape
Oh my
is
gosh.
VHS.
Oh my gosh. Okay, back to Starship. So today we saw these charges be installed, and then we also saw eventually cladding go over those and bolted on. Unfortunately, we never saw if those pins had been removed or not. Alex said that he thinks he saw a worker holding one of the pins. However, we can't say for sure that they have been removed, but there's evidence to point to that they have been removed. So the FTS is oh my god.
That's gaff tape. Gaff tape is amazing.
Patrick really went to look up for that picture instead of the flight simulation system.
Yeah, wow. We showed that and not the FTS box. Wow. But it does. It speaks to how amazing gaff tape is. Anyways, Trevor, sorry. Please
You
continue.
can tell it's a 1 a.m. stream when we're talking about tape. Yeah, so the charges have been installed on the vehicle. We are unsure if the pins have been pulled. They probably have. And then the
Yeah, there you go.
FTS is not armed though. There we go. So you can see the charges there. And then in the next shot that Jack got, you can see the red pins. I'll see if Patrick pulls that up.
Yeah, so this is the booster FTS box. The lower portion of it does not have that charge. The upper portion does. And after I took this photo, they installed the bottom one. But that white box is labeled Destructor with a number, which is blurry in this shot, but it's sharp in the other one of the ship FTS box, which I'm sure Patrick will switch to here shortly. Trevor, please continue.
Yeah, so they've been installed. We're not sure about pin pull, but probably. And then for the question of if the FTS has been armed or not, the answer is no. Well, I guess depending on your definition of armed. There is an inhibitor that prevents the FTS from activating that will get removed as part of the launch clamps and all of, during the countdown when the arm retracts. So then that will remove the inhibitor. And then there's also probably some software checks that get enabled when the flight software has been uploaded to the vehicle. And none of that has happened yet. And there you can see the red remove before flight tag, which is the flight pins.
Destructor 4. Oh, A. I always thought it was number
That's
4.
an A.
I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
Destructor A is a way less cool name. I like Destructor 4. Anyways, yep, there's the pin. I'm an idiot. I did not get video of them pulling it. I did not see it with my own 2 eyes before they closed up that box. So, is what it is. But
The
there you can see FTS has been installed and buttoned up all nicely.
Has a label, ship something something on the explosives box. Patrick, just move away. There. I think I can see ship something.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I'll have to go back and look at my photos. I like, when you're taking photos like this, it's like, okay, I'm going to walk 10 feet to my right and see if there's less obstructions in between me and the labels. So I got a couple slightly different angles, so I will go back and see if I have a clearer shot of that particular label. Good eye.
So yeah, anyway, this seems like it's probably a good indication that SpaceX is somewhat confident that they'll get approval sooner than later, given that, at least to me intuitively, SpaceX probably wouldn't want to charge the detonators on the vehicle for too much longer than they necessarily have to be there. Or it could just be SpaceX wanting to be as ready as possible for when they get the launch license and they're fine with the slightly higher risk from having the charges there. So hopefully that's a good TLDR with many tangents, including tape tangents.
Yeah, I think I sparked a minor tape war in chat. I am a duck. Says duct tape best tape. Not really surprising there. Human's asking about flex tape. Wheat Cracker is saying Kapton tape is the best. B9 says the best tape is no tape. Anyways, this is NASA tape flight. And we've got a stacked ship. And a booster and ship with FTS charges installed. So that is pretty darn exciting, hence the live stream. Kenneth Cannon, thank you for the support. They say another vote for a space shuttle full stack stuffy. See, I just want the orbiter, but I guess the full stack would be awesome too. If we're really making Adrian weep, like, and make it Velcro so the ship and boosters can detach from the external tank. Yeah, 100%.
Oh, can you imagine Chris toying with that?
I can, and I am the
separation. Shoosh. Can you imagine him being like that?
For some reason I imagine him in a bubble bath, like with the stuffy. Like, I don't know, it makes no sense. But anyways, sorry Chris. Hi Chris. Let's see. Here, Mackenzie Combrink is asking, when is the license expected to be granted? We don't know. For more, Trevor?
Yeah, so unfortunately we really don't know. And I'll just note that, we saw some people online today tweeting that SpaceX had gotten approval, and unfortunately that's just not true. We correctly reached out to the FAA and Fish and Wildlife, or Adrian did, I should say, and he heard that there was no update from the FAA and there was no estimated completion of when that's going to happen. So just be a little cautious of what you believe, especially on social media. But when we hear something about it, right, Adrian will obviously tweet it immediately, and I'm sure some of the other big names like Eric Berger, Michael Sheets, and all of those people have broken news before. They'll probably give some indications, and they're reliable sources. In rough timeline, it definitely seems like SpaceX is preparing for a launch attempt next week. And it's impossible to know, at least to the public, is this SpaceX confident that they'll have approval by next week and getting ready for it? Or is it SpaceX just wanting to have approval so they're going to look as ready as possible?
Yeah, one of the things... Oh, go ahead, Jack.
Nope, I was just going to say that's my thinking exactly, Trevor. Thank you. Alex, take it away.
Yeah, this is sort of like a follow-up here to this whole conversation of the the rumors on the internet, things like that. There is also the fact that there were a lot of people claiming that they had to have the approval because they were doing the flight simulation system, and they were bringing up this part of the launch license where it says that there you can see it on the definitions part. It basically defines pre-flight ground operations as beginning at the start of the autonomous flight simulation system ordnance installation. Basically, what they've done today, installing the charges, that is what it defines already as the start of the pre-flight ground operations, right? And obviously the license is supposed to cover that, and people, they were looking at the definitions part, but not at the authorization part. Because the issue here with the launch license for that we saw released on April 14th is that the flight operations only authorize the first flight. But the pre-flight ground operations, you don't see any sort of restriction there of what flights does it apply to? You can see it on the flight operations on the B4. You see for the first flight only unless this license is modified to remove this term. But that's for flight operations. That's for launch. And actually in the definitions part you can see that flight shall commence with the ignition of the first stage with the intention of liftoff of a space exploration technologies, blah blah, you know. So that is everything from ignition of the engines for liftoff all the way, you know, to the splashdown of the ship. Those are the flight operations, and those were restricted for just the first flight on this launch license. But the pre-flight operations, like installing the ordnance, the charges on the vehicles, it is not restricted. So technically, they can use this launch license to do that. And the whole deal with this is that there were a lot of people saying, well, but SpaceX has verbal approval about this. But you know how this works, it's not really that way. Because verbal approval is not really valid in a legal situation. If they were to be, you know, basically sued by any other party or something like that, that will not be illegal. So that's actually the reason why I went to the launch license, because there was all of this debate, and I read it thoroughly, and I'm convinced that this is the case, that they are just using that launch license to cover these pre-flight operations, because they can. It is covered there. So there you go.
Thank you for that. Really important and nuanced distinction to make as we read the tea leaves ahead of Flight 2 here. And we have a poll in chat, and Gaff Tape is not winning. So, as your father, I'm disappointed in all of you, and you're grounded.
I'm sorry. I'll do better.
I'll
vote for it just for you.
When you come to visit me, I'll show you the wonders of Gaff Tape. Literally, parts of my Land Rover are held on with Gaff Tape, and it has been, like, that same tape has been on there for, like, over a year. Sean in our back channel says Gaff Tape sucks. Well, it just goes to show you what Sean knows.
I'm not sure you're making me want to come when you say parts of my car are taped on.
Yeah, don't worry about that part. Every type of fastener is used to have parts of my Land Rover stay parts of my Land Rover. That includes twist ties, zip ties, and string. Is that, am I really selling it?
Yeah, I'll be there tomorrow.
Well, guess what? I won't be, because I'm here for the duration. Oh, man. Wheat Cracker, 7 months as a Red Team member. Thank you for that, and for the kind words. We're glad you enjoy SBL every day. Harry L, becoming a Padrat member. Thank you for that. Angry American, gifting a Red Team membership. Thank you so much. Pacific Northwest, PN what? This is a common name that pops up, but I don't think I ever wrapped my head around how to say it. Thank you for the super chat. They say night lift for the win. Dare I say night lift with spotlights for the win. Joseph Flieger, thanks for the super chat. They say in the immortal words of Alan Shepard, light this candle. I mean, it's pretty well lit right now with the spotlights.
Okay, Sawyer.
And Glenn Pearson. Stay outside, get the back channel right now. Oh my god. Okay, keep it together. Glenn Pearson, 22 months as a launch director. Thank you so much. That is huge. Launch director is one of the higher levels of support in the membership program. Second highest level, I believe. So, holy cow, thank you so much. 22 months as a launch director. That's wild. Thank you, Glenn. They say 1.5k likes, and I'll send another 20 memberships. Hit that like button, people. Aw.
We're at 1.3k.
What a big sweetie. 200 more likes, and 20 people will get memberships. Hit the like button. I am a YouTube streamer person. Smash the like button. I mean, what more do we have to say? Just do it. Click it. Takes you no time. Spaceflight fan just says tape with a 3-month Capcom milestone. Thank you for that. Let's see here. So the ship is down. I guess next, Alex, we would expect to see the QD arm move in at some point, right?
Yeah, so there's a bit of a question here because I think looking at the QD port, at the quick disconnect port on the vehicle, I think it is covered. So we will have to see workers going up the tower and to the QD arm, and they have like a hand deployed sort of platform that they have to manually deploy and everything. It's super fun because it's like, you know, the old cars where you had to roll down the windows with your hand. My brother still has one of those cars, by the way.
Right.
It's funny when I go in and it's sort of like that. So it's pretty much like that, and they have to roll it in that platform. Then they go up, they remove the you know, all of the protective covers and everything, and then the QD umbilical can be connected to the port.
Alrighty then. Let's see here. Dale Clark, 8-month Red Tea membership. Edible bacon tape is their message. Glenn Pearson, gifting the 20 Red Tea memberships promised. Thank you so much, Glenn. If you got one of those memberships, be sure to thank them. I know everybody here at NSF certainly appreciates it. That's absolutely outstanding. Thank you so much, Glenn. Alright, well, ship's down. QD arm, not in yet. We're hanging out answering your questions. Keep the questions and support coming and we'll keep going. Just try us. We'll keep going. We'll do it. Dare I say, there are no stops. We have removed all the stops in the lead up to Flight 2 of Starship. If you wanted any stops, you're in the wrong place. There's no stops. We've pulled out all this. Okay, I'll stop. Trevor, November N939NN is asking, why hexagon tiles? They feel like larger curved rectangular pieces would be better to replace, but then there goes the argument for redundancy. I mean, hexagons are the bestagons.
My response is going to be because hexagons are the bestagons. Darn it,
Yeah.
Jack.
I mean, it's a flippant answer, but at the same time, if you've seen that video, what is that? Is that a Vsauce?
No, CGP Gray.
CGP Gray, right. If you've seen that video, hexagons are the bestagons, you know they are the bestagons. Hexagons appear in nature all the time, and that is not for no reason. Nice double negative, Jack. But please, Trevor, say smarter words than me. Go make talking sounds with your mouth.
Well, the group properties of them are very nice. They have good symmetries, which group theory can very beautifully describe, but for those who don't want to hear about math at 2 in the morning or whatever it is, yeah, they're symmetric, which is nice. Then they're also just smaller and can kind of, as the vehicle moves a little bit when they fill it and pressurize it, having the small gaps between can be advantageous. So I don't really know for sure what led them to that design, but it's seemed to work out pretty well so far, and it has a huge advantage that they don't need to make, you know, tons and tons of different shaped tiles. And I love that everyone in chat right now is posting hexagon emojis.
Heck yeah, that was a good addition. Yeah, I don't really have anything to add other than just once again, hexagons are the bestagons. And Paul Carl in chat says, is honeycomb hexagons? Why, yes. Yes, it is.
I wish stop signs were hexagons.
Yeah, the stop sign with their stupid extra 2 sides. What's going on there?
Maybe I'd actually stop at them that way. Just kidding.
Mr. Space Race, 2-month Red Team membership. Thank you so much. They say still a member. Yesterday it would end today. Or yesterday it said it would end today. Well, you know what? Maybe you got gifted another one. The Raz becoming a Red Team member. Brian Green gifting 5 Red Team memberships. Thank you, Brian. John Kerman saying, loving the new patch. Thanks for the coverage. Thanks for the support. The new patch is legit. All the new merch that we've released in the last month or two, the knitted stuff, all the new prints. I mean, if you haven't gone to the merch store lately and you have some holiday cash, just saying. Danny 1961, pad rep member, thank you. Matthew R, Capcom member, thank you so much. You get Discord access at Capcom level and above. And Wade Andresi, 30 months as a Capcom member. You're awesome, Wade. Thank you. They say, always remember growing up and hearing and watching the stories about Apollo. So cool I get to follow this in real time. Right? How cool is that? Well, this is the next moon rocket. This is bigger and better than the Saturn V. Yeah, Apollo Point 2, Shuttle 2.0, whatever you want to call it. You're looking at the future, baby. Let's see. What question do I take next? The world is my oyster.
What kind of bear is best?
Brown bear, duh. Do I take a tape question? Do I take a bacon question? Here we go. B9 is asking, will Booster 9 survive... Is B9 talking in third person? Will Booster 9 survive splashdown and survive its tumble in case it does? And will Ship 25 survive reentry and do a belly flap or splash down? Or will it just do a belly dive? Okay, this is like two segmented questions. First question. Do we think Booster 9 will survive even through hot staging? Alex, go.
I think Alex is muted.
Talking while muted. Trevor, go.
Alex is not available, he says. I think if the booster survives through hot staging, that is a good test flight and then this will be a very successful flight. And if they make it past that through descent and ignite engines for boost back and for landing burn, then that's just a remarkably huge win, and I find that very unlikely to happen.
Got it. Yeah, and I think the intention is to have the booster not hit the water intact. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, and we saw this on Flight 1 as well, where SpaceX even had some contingencies that if the booster was to splash down and there were to be large pieces, they would go out and recover what they could and sink everything else. And I believe part of that process was literally just having like I don't know guns, but some type of powerful gun that they can go depressurize everything with.
Yeah, I remember, again, I don't know if this is, we talked about this talked about something similar on the CRS-29 stream. But I feel like I heard sort of an urban legend about one of the recovery ships carrying a 50 cal rifle in order to, should the need arise, shoot a floating Falcon 9 in order to puncture its tanks. But I don't know if that's actually true or not. But again, sort of one of those like rocket campfire tales you hear passed around. So the other part of this, Trevor, is will Ship 25 survive reentry? First off, if it gets that far, do you think it survives reentry? I say it has a fair chance.
Oh.
Really? Go no. Explain your absolutely not, and I will explain my it has a chance.
Well, first of all, I think to me it seems not. I don't want to say improbable, but not necessarily likely that it will even reach the point of being able to attempt a orbital reentry. Like we've talked about since the first flight, this flight is very much about testing the booster. And if they make it through stage separation, everything past then, in my opinion, is just a win. So I'm not confident that they'll make it through the entire second stage burn. But if they do, I just have a hard time seeing on their first try that the heat shield works as well as they are expecting. And that, some of the tiles which we saw fall off during the first launch and other issues that they may have won't end up being a problem that they'll need to address on future iterations of the ship. However, I very, very much hope SpaceX proves me wrong.
Right. I say it has a chance only because if it's gotten as far as re-entering the atmosphere, even if it's missing some tiles and whatnot, it's not, it's not like it's coming back from a lunar velocity. It's not like it's coming back from a Martian velocity. It's not even coming back from a fully orbital velocity, although it will be very, very, very close. And it's a stainless steel ship. It's not like the structure of the vehicle is, extremely heat-intolerant aluminum like it was on the shuttle. So, look at that. There's people up on the QD arm already. Wow, that was fast.
This whole stack has been insanely quick.
Right.
Maybe we see that process that I talked about of manually moving the platform.
Yeah, it could be. The crank. So yeah, and just to make Chris be happy, there was a shuttle mission where they lost a tile in a very bad spot, but there just so happened to be a stainless steel plate below that.
I know which one. Can I win more shuttle points?
Yes, please.
STS-27. And it was Atlantis. There was 2 missions actually after Challenger, which was a little bit scary.
Yeah,
was it steel under or was it titanium? I thought I remember.
I'm like 99% positive it was steel.
Okay. Uh-oh. Sawyer is typing in the back channel. I'm about to get in trouble for not knowing that. I'm sorry, Sawyer.
But I bring that up because it had that steel plate, it was like an antenna mount or something like that. Had that steel plate not been there, the loss of that particular tile would not have been a good day. So, and that was obviously from a fully orbital shuttle re-entry velocity. So, I'm not a rocket scientist, but if we're completely putting our speculation hats on here, also, side note, now I want a speculation hat. Somebody make me one. I think it's plausible. If it gets as far as that point, then who knows? I think it has a chance. Anyways, good question from B9 there. Let's see. Kaltenstein, thank you so much for the support. They say, how poetic would it be to have IFT-2 reach orbit 1 year after SLS, up to the day on November 16th? That would be pretty nice. Yarmanarnar? Interesting. Is that a Rick and Morty reference? Thank you for the super chat. They say, had a great night watching the stacking in the Northern Lights out here in Cold Lake, Alberta. I hope this helps out with the camera leasing. Thank you so much. That's very, very, very kind of you. Also, I've never seen the Northern Lights. I really want to see the Northern Lights.
You really want to see the Northern Lights.
One of my buddies on Instagram sent me a video from Alaska showing a launch out of the spaceport there at Kodiak, where Astra has a pad. I almost said had a pad. Oh, God.
I mean...
Basically had a pad.
Stop. Don't be mean.
ABL also has a pad next door, actually. Hey, look at that. The platform. They're moving it.
Yeah, they're moving the platform right now. Anyways, they sent me a video of a rocket launching from Kodiak. It was a sounding rocket. There was an aurora happening, and it was beautiful. So now I have a new mission in life and a new rocket-related thing that I will be obsessed until I get a photo of it. So, yeah, need to see that really bad. Astro Knucklehead.
About the Southern Lights. Well,
yeah, that would also be legit. Astro Knuckleheads, thank you so much for the support again. They say, could you give a shout out to DAS's Kerbal Space Academy YouTube site? Given Remembrance Day coming up, all should watch his Normandy coverage. Yeah, DAS did some insane D-Day anniversary coverage. Went to Normandy, did the whole thing. So do check that out. If anybody has a link, spam it in chat. Good call. And Molly Miriam's gifting 20 Red Team memberships. Seriously outstanding. Thank you so much, Molly. We really appreciate it. And thanks again to everybody who's been supporting us on tonight's stream. Well, I was thinking we were getting ready to be done seeing things, and then they started moving this QD arm and whatnot. Look at that. This is quite a sight.
They're doing exactly what I had told before, that now they need to remove all of those covers that they have on the ports for the quick disconnect, and once they do that, they can connect the umbilical.
Yeah, because the ports have like covers on them for the lift, right?
Yep. Oh, there we go. Zoom. Enhance.
Oh, CP11. That's the name of this camera. It's been
I wonder.
Being a little
Just
complainy face with its focus. Sorry, it's not much more sharp, but this camera is trying its hardest. Go ahead, Trevor.
No, just to shout them out, I'm pretty sure we have Gage and Chris in the background helping us with the cameras as well. So even though you hear our amazing voices in commentary at 1 in the morning, also make sure to thank them, and thank you guys for staying up and helping out.
Yeah, like we were talking about earlier, it's a whole entire team of people here, not just the voices you hear. So thank you to Gage, and thank you to Chris. Chris K, right? Yeah, Chris K.
Yeah, he's here. Well, not with us. Commentary, though.
The real question is, which are Chris's and Gage's favorite tape? Bruno,
Oh
thank
gosh,
you for
Gage is
becoming thank you for becoming a Red Team member, and Dave Watkins becoming a Capcom member. Dave, you get Discord access at Capcom level and above. And I see you have gaming in parentheses in your name. So I highly recommend you go check out the gaming channel in our Discord. I mean, there's all sorts of informational channels too, but there's also a food chat channel, which I posted a cool image in earlier today of part of my dinner. And there's a gaming channel. Check out the gaming channel and look at all the cursed things that Moldy Space makes. And everybody else.
We love you, Moldy, and everyone else.
Moldy's the best. Everyone else is good. Moldy's the best. Branson Stafford, 25 months as a launch director. Holy cow. Thank you so much, Branson. They say you guys have been very busy. Thank you. Yeah, speaking of very busy, poor Das is out here. Yes. Why are we doing yes? Oh, because we've been busy. Yes. Also, that was the wrong yes gif, but anyways. Thank you. Das is out here working his butt off on various projects, and I mean, we're all burning the candle at both ends. Whether it's people out here at Starbase, or people in the back channel, or people, making the videos. Thank you, Alex, for all the scripts, and Kevin for all the organization, and just everybody is absolutely pedal to the metal as we get closer and closer to Flight 2 of Starship. I mean, this could very well be the final stack. It could also not be, but it could very well be the final stack, which is so exciting. So very exciting. Go ahead, Alex.
I have a thing in mind, because I was looking at those workers up at the QD, and I was actually asking if it would be possible to do a zoom out and things like that to see the scale of things, but this camera is a little bit tricky to work with, so we'll not do it. But just think about this. Look at the scale of that, even the quick disconnect port on the vehicle. It's almost the size of a human person.
Right.
And that is a tiny bit of piece of the structure of the vehicle, right? And like, my God, this thing is enormous. It is such a monster of a vehicle. It is crazy.
Yeah, even photographing it and being around it day after day, it's hard to wrap your head around the sense of scale. Really, the best way, I think, to do it, and it's still not optimal, is to take the walk down Remedios and check out the rocket garden if you're in Starbase, because you can get pretty dang close to a starship and get a feel for, oh my God, like, this thing is bigger than big. But that's still no full stack. The full stack is just utterly incomprehensible. Its scale. Yeah, there you can see. It's just insane. I mean, you saw what one human up at that QD on the ship on the other side of this view, how big they were. And it's insane. It's insane. What an amazing vehicle. This is why we're so excited. This is the future. Oh, man.
I'm not
What do
sure if we talked about it,
Go ahead.
but Sean got an amazing photo of the full stack that he just published on X, the everything app.
No, it's Twitter. It's Twitter.
That I'll
Clever.
post in a second. Hold on, why can't I find Sean's Twitter? Give me a
Yes.
second.
Spam that in chat because it is a great photo.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah, there
Oh,
it is. We have it on screen now,
everyone.
too. Great shot.
Yeah, this gives major Apollo vibes to me, and I love it.
Yeah, I am 100% here for the spotlights. Hopefully it's not a tonight-only kind of thing. This is just so beautiful. Good deal. Oh, man. So, I guess to round things out, Ben Newberry's asking, so do they have to destack again to ARM FTS? Alex, we've talked about the FTS multiple times, but in case people missed it, let's just walk
So-
through where we're at with that one more time.
Yeah, and this is important to clear out that this is what we think based on the things that we've seen. But, as always, we may see another older thing later down the line that we're like, oh, well, we missed this. Then, we were wrong. And that's okay, because this is a process that is a bit of a trial and error, to be honest. Even the SpaceX's launches are a bit of a trial and error with the Starship, right? So, hey, we can do that too with our theories. But basically, we've seen them installing the charges for the flight termination system. That is, like, for sure, because we actually seen those charges already installed. The whole difference here, they have physical pins that they need to pull out before stacking, because otherwise they cannot access those boxes, those charges, once the ship is in this configuration, in this full stack configuration, right? So if they were pulled, and we believe they might have been pulled because pretty much the boxes for the flight termination system do seem to be fully closed out. This morning they were taped over, but then they came in during the afternoon, they removed the tapes, they did a bunch of work. It was a little bit weird to see whether it was put in the pins or not. I think maybe I saw one of them with those red tags, before remove before flight tags in hand, so maybe they had already removed one of the pins and in the process of removing more pins. But again, I think I saw, it's not a complete, statement that yes, they did it. Unlike the charges, because the charges, we can pretty much say that yes, they are installed because we've seen it. They are really well visible. So all of this to say that maybe they don't have to destack it, but even if they have pulled the pins, SpaceX could just go ahead and be like, yeah, why not? We're destacking it. It's our ship, it's our vehicle. We do what we want. So even in the case that they have actually, pulled the pins and removed that physical safety on the flight termination system, they could still destack it anytime. It's their vehicle, right? So we'll see.
So, that's FTS. Regulatory. Trevor, where are we at? We still don't have a license from the FAA or any word from the FAA or the fish people. Any thoughts on when we might see that license drop?
Yeah, I mean, sadly, that's the question that we're all desperately wanting an answer to, especially those of us who have meetings and all that scheduled around when this thing launches.
Right.
So, right, the FAA concluded their mishap investigation report about a week ago, I think, at this point. And right now they're just waiting on the Fish and Wildlife Service to conclude their environmental assessment. And we've reached out to the Fish and Wildlife Service, and they have said that they are not finished and that they don't have a timeline.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, what does that go into the
I
launch
just
site?
realized one thing. I'm actually not looking at the crane that is rolling by, but the one that is behind it. at the launch site. I forgot. The big crane that SpaceX has at the launch site has gone down,
Oh.
which is an indication of flight soon.
Yeah.
Because that only happens when it's ready for launch.
Yeah, we saw the same thing. The LR 11,000 crane at the launch site was laid down ahead of launch, which is so wonderful because it makes the views out there that much more clutter-free. And it's also wonderful, of course, because like you said, it's another indicator that we are indeed getting close to flight.
Yeah. I had seen it this afternoon, but I forgot totally. Like when we were live and everything, I forgot it. So yeah, that's another indication.
No worries. Cool.
Too many things in my head.
Oh, there's so many things going on. All right, so there's a whole bunch of other indications and tea leaves and whatnot as to when launch might be, and we have a video on that Das did that's amazing. So I'll spare you all the spiel, but go ahead.
Can I leak a little bit of a thing that we're also working on?
Yes.
Whenever the launch license drops, we're gonna be I told you so with that video. Haha.
Alright, good deal. Cool, so I think we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all so much for all of the support, and we'll still have all of these views. You can just hang out in Starbase Live and watch from there. But I think that's going to wrap it up for commentated live stream for tonight. We got a full stack. We have FTS installed. We're just waiting on regulatory now. So all signs are pointing to a flight extremely soon, which is, again, just so darn exciting. So thank you all again for all the support. Alex, thanks for being on the stream and sharing your knowledge and wisdom.
It's always a pleasure. And I actually was in the middle of writing Twist because it's releasing well tomorrow. It's already today. So yeah, we'll see. Hopefully you guys watch it and everything. Try to pimp it here, and see you next time.
Good deal. Thank you, Alex and Trevor. Also, thank you for being on, sharing your knowledge and wisdom.
I don't know if there's much of that, but the little I have, I love to share.
Indeed. Thank you. Cool. And thank you to everyone in the background helping make things work. Gage, Patrick, operating the stream. Gage working cameras. Sean out there shooting photos. Das doing Das Wizard stuff. All the people. I'm surely leaving people out, and I'm sorry for that. But seriously, it takes a village to make an NSF stream happen. And well, there are no stops. We've pulled out all the stops ahead of Flight 2. That's how we do. And we're really just firing on all cylinders and trying to bring you guys the very best coverage that we possibly can. So, thank you for the support. That is why we're so thankful. Is because we constantly want to do more and better things. And with your help, oh buddy, we will. Alright, with that, we'll leave you all to go hang out in Starbase Live and continue to watch these views. Oh, and Kenneth Cannon, thank you for the support. Asking when we're getting an IMAX camera on a tracker. Buddy, you keep supporting us. Never say never. Those cameras are expensive, and there's only so many in the world, but definitely have a tracker. That's one of the things Sean's been working on. We have multiple trackers, and we definitely want to continue to upgrade the camera hardware. So continue supporting us, and we'll do what we can. But with that, let's all go hang out and watch this awesome sight of a lit up full stack with FTS installed on Starbase Live.
And here we go. We have liftoff. Propulsion continues to be normal.
RCPA chamber pressure looks good.
Traveling up. Roger, with planet.
Water towers fly! Yes!
Tango down to nominal.
Flight downside speed off. SPD off. It's orange!
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Decollage. Put that in the big bag, Jingle.
343 unfolds to go.
Indeed.
we rise together back to the moon and beyond.
If there's methane to be igniting in the flare, correct?
Yikes. You bet. We don't need any more of these.